like I just got to put that to the side and just keep working and know that I got to get more ball drills after practice. Yeah.
How much does working with Tetsuo McMillan prepare you for the next level?
Yeah, it prepares me a lot because in my eyes, I feel like he's a first round guy. So going against him every day is like going against like one of the best receivers in the country. So every day I got to bring it because I know every day he's going to bring it.
Now, I don't think we've asked this, but why do you go by Bobo?
I got that name from my siblings. I don't like remember why they call me that, but yeah, I got my nickname from my siblings. I have to ask my brother why he called me that. Yeah.
So when did they start calling you Bobo? Like what age?
I want to say like 2 years old. Okay. Yeah.
So it's just been a nickname for your family?
For a minute. Yeah.
Brent, how would you describe your coaching style during spring practice, and what can fans expect to see from you when they go out there and watch you coach?
I think out there on the field, I want to be someone that is, an encourager and, coaches with a lot of energy. And, like I mentioned earlier, spring practice being about all about opportunity. I want everyone to feel like they have a chance to contribute, and I think, he's talking about going head to head with T-Mac. If we can get everybody attacking the practice environment with intention, with energy, with enthusiasm, like that's going to elevate the practice, right? And if we're practicing at a high level like that every day, like we'll naturally improve as we go. And so in our constant chase of improvement, I think it's so important that the leaders, whether it's the leaders that are players or the leaders that are coaches, that we're the ones bringing that energy and that intention to the practice environment.
When did you put on full pads for the first time?
I think maybe Tuesday. I think that's right. Tuesday or Thursday.
What does the prep look like for the move to the Big 12? How are you implementing that in your spring practices?
So can you say that again? I missed the front part. That's all right.
What does some of the prep look like for the move to the Big 12?
Honestly, right now, there's probably much more of a focus of we're trying to get good at football. So we're just worried about today's practice. And that's one of the things that I've been focusing on with the team a bunch. And Takari will tell you is just like we need to dive into the process. We need to dive into the process of getting good at blocking, tackling, playing good, solid, fundamental football with fanatical effort. And so today was a good start to that. In terms of the logistics of the Big 12 and all that stuff, I'm going to leave that up to people like, Andrew Sims and Lauren Vossler and Ben Thenis and the people that are a lot smarter than me.
All right, that's our time, guys.
Thank y'all.
All right, that was the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. His name is Brent Brennan. You also heard from Takario Davis. Takario, one of the returning cornerbacks on the defense, and that was a big get back because there was some question as to whether Takario would come back or potentially try to find something different for himself in the transfer portal, but he did make the decision to come back to Arizona after his cohort on the other side, Ephesians Prysock, decided to leave. So a big win for Arizona to get that young man back and to keep him on this team moving forward. The Wildcats will need his presence on the edge to help on a defense that returns a lot of the key pieces that not only helped the Wildcats to win their final 7 games last year, but one of those being a bowl game in which they had 5 takeaways, and a lot of those initiated by the guys on the backside of that defense. So you'll hear spring practice interviews as we continue to go through this over the course of the next 5 weeks, as well as some of the interviews we had a chance to do with the assistant coaches. We had Joe Samalo and the defensive line coach on the other day. You heard yesterday from the 2 coordinators, a little bit from Dwayne Aquina on the defensive side of the ball, Dino Babers on the offensive side of the ball. We'll let you hear a little bit more coming up in the next few days from Dwayne Aquina, as well as Bobby Wade, Arizona wide receiver class of 2002, left this university, went and played for a number of years in the NFL as a wide receiver, has been kind of working his way up the coaching ladder, coached up the road at the rival school in Tempe for a few years under Herm Edwards, and now has come back down to his alma mater to join the likes of some of the guys that he played with here and coached and played under, I should say, during his time here, like a Brent Brennan and Dino Babers, some of the guys that were on the staffs with Coach Tomey when Bobby Wade was a player here to begin his career, and then after Tomey left under John Makovic. So looking forward to hearing from all of those guys. But first, every 20 minutes on the Fives, cricket gets you home with your traffic and your weather. John Court is going to join us on the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk some Arizona gymnastics. It's DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With a collision in Oro Valley, McGee near Oracle on McGee, west of Oracle at McGee and Northern Avenue. And roadwork along Greasewood Road between Speedway and Ironwood Hill Drive will be complete at the end of this month. Expect some travel restrictions and possible slowdowns. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by NexGuard Plus. NexGuard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets, is the one you want for your dog's monthly protection. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your veterinarian about NexGuard Plus Chews today.
Did you know that the Chevy Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size truck in Arizona? Did you know that O'Reilly Chevrolet has the largest selection of trucks in the valley? Now you do.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers.
It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Are you ready? Ready to discover your soul, your wild side, your passion, your joy, and excitement. From world-class entertainment to award-winning dining to a luxurious resort. Discover all this and more. Discover with Soul at Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson. The official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Enterprise of the Pasquayaqui Tribe.
Amazing food and drinks. Our favorite new spot. We're so happy they opened. That's what guests are saying about Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar, a new locally owned restaurant on Tucson's northwest side, specializing in creative comfort classics and craft cocktails. Best known for juicy smash burgers, crispy loaded wings, street tacos, and specialty drinks. Everything made in-house with high-quality ingredients, chef-driven twists, and lots of love. Perfect for lunch or dinner, family celebrations, or happy hour with a friend. Fly over to Redbird on the northeast corner of Orange Grove and Oracle for some great food, great service, and don't forget to visit their website, redbirdrestaurants.com.
And this Friday, we have a sweet deal for you from Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on this program. Don't forget we are streaming this show. Had a little bit of a issue with our stream in that last segment, so we apologize for that, but we are back up and running on a number of different platforms: YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch at Wildcats Radio 1290. Twitter, you can watch the show at Wildcats 1290. You can also stream just the audio portion of that. We don't usually have any issues with that. Over at WildcatsRadio1290.com, we are on a number of the different apps. You can find us on the iHeart app, TuneIn, among others. I believe we are also on the Odyssey app as well. So head on over to any of those apps. But go to our website.
What about Alexa?
Or go to you can go to Alexa. That's right. Tell Alexa, hey, I want to listen to WildcatsRadio1290.com or WildcatsRadio1290. And Alexa will put us up for you if you've got one of those listening devices that her voice is so popular on. So lots of exciting ways that you can be a part of our program and check us out. Major League Baseball starts tomorrow. Opening day, first game is going to be the Angels at the Orioles. There have been a number of games, I understand, that have already been postponed due to the weather tomorrow. In fact, there are two games that they have already banged. The Brewers and the Mets at Citi Field in New York is off, and the Braves and the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, that game is off as well. The game that will be played here in the state of Arizona. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
Rockies, Diamondbacks kicking off the season on Thursday night in downtown Phoenix at Chase Field. Will the roof be open? Will the roof be closed? That's always a big question after what we saw the other night when they had the roof open and it started raining and they had to call the spring training game with the Guardians. But we'll find out that tomorrow. Kyle Freeland gets the ball on opening day for the Colorado Rockies against Zach Gallen for the Arizona Diamondbacks. First pitch is at 7:10 tomorrow night. Now, some interesting news out of Diamondbacks camp today that involves not only the Arizona Diamondbacks, but it also involves the Arizona Wildcats, as Arizona Wildcat grad Kevin Newman has opted out of his minor league contract with the Diamondbacks. This, according to Nick Picaro, the beat writer for the Arizona Republic. Kevin Newman now a free agent. He is free to sign with any club that is in need some infield depth. The 30-year-old spent last season with the Cincinnati Reds, where he hit .253 in 253 plate appearances, played a little short, played a little second, was also at third base. He spent the first 5 seasons of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, a first-round selection, the 19th player selected overall in 2015. Became a big league regular during the 19 season when he hit .308, but things have been a mix of struggles since that time. He's hitting just .259 at the plate in recent seasons. He's had some defensive struggles after flashing a pretty nice glove early on. So there was some thought that maybe Kevin Newman might be a guy that could provide some infield depth. They've brought in a number of different players. Elvis Andrus was brought in by the Diamondbacks. I think he was really only there for about a week, got into like 3 games before he was released. And now Kevin Newman, who probably had just what it sounds like. He had a lot of these guys will sign these minor league contracts where they have an opt-out clause at the beginning of the season if they don't make the club. And so apparently Kevin Newman was likely told he was not going to make the club. He could start the year in AAA. He opted out of his contract. You would think if he did that there's another team out there potentially where he can sign, but we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out. Again, the Wildcats have Eugenio Suarez, Geraldo Perdomo, Ketel Marte as their primary lineup. Jace Peterson has also been added to the roster for depth. He can play both the infield and the outfield. The Diamondbacks were hoping Newman could have been a right-handed complement to the lefty swinging Jace Peterson, but it seems the Snakes will stick with out of options. Manuel Rivera has no options left, so they really can't send him out without risk of losing him. Blaze Alexander is another prospect who has an opportunity to potentially be on the club for a lot this coming season. So that's a little bit about what's going on with the Diamondbacks, and we'll find out. Torey Lovello still has not indicated who will be his closer. In all likelihood, though, that's going to be Kevin Ginkel, the other Arizona Wildcat who was in camp with the Diamondbacks this year and last season, where he went 9-1 with a 2.47 earned run average. Had a fabulous season in helping the Diamondbacks win the National League pennant. All right, excited about that. 520-848-1290. And in fact, I did not get a chance to finish this because my computer blew out, but I'm going to get this up for you. It's our question of the day. And that question is, how many games do you think the Diamondbacks are going to win this season? How many games do you think the Diamondbacks will win this season? Now, you remember, Arizona did not win the division last year, but they did make the postseason as a wild card. And I'll start with you, J-Dub. You have a number in mind of how many games you think the Diamondbacks can win this season? Last year, to make the postseason, they won just 84. And you'll remember they lost 4 in a row down the stretch. So they had a chance to win 85-plus going into that final series against the Houston Astros, but they got swept. Finished with 84 wins. Will they win? I was thinking I was going to do this as a 95, 90, 85, 80 or less.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I mean, in a vacuum, I'd think about 10 more, and I only say that because they were so young last year. I mean, they had no reason to be in the World Series based on how young the roster was. A year of more experience, obviously that run, giving them a lot of confidence. But when you get your closer go down a few days before opening day, DK, but I would say, all things considered, and the roster they're bringing back in the additions, I would say around 95 would be my guess.
That's a good, man. That's pretty good. So you think they're going to be that? That's not a bad guess. I don't know. So you're saying they're about 10 wins better than they were last year. I mean, it is a rough and tumble National League West when you look at what the Dodgers have done. But again, you don't play as many divisional games anymore as you used to because of the more balanced schedule. So that I think that plays in the favor of some teams like the Diamondbacks, that you don't have to play the Dodgers 19 times. You don't have to play the Padres 19 times because those two teams are obviously your two most primary competitors. And you can't count out the Giants. The Giants, have kind of built themselves back into a power. The only team that's, still kind of seems to tally around the bottom is the Colorado Rockies, the team that they'll open up with here on Thursday night. But 95, that sounds like a good number to go with there. I'll let you know kind of where I think on that. But we'll get that question up if you want to call in with us and answer that question. How many games do you think the Diamondbacks are going to win this season? You can call us with that answer, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. You can text us with a response to that. Text us to 520-848-1290. How many games you think the Diamondbacks are going to win We'll get that question up on our Twitter page and get a vote going for the final hour of the show coming up straight ahead. Arizona, Clemson, that's going to be tomorrow in Los Angeles. The Wildcats looking for a chance to advance to the Elite Eight. We had a chance to talk to Brian Jeffries a little bit earlier on that. You heard from Caleb Love. Let's right now, J-Dub, hear from the head coach. How about that? Of the Clemson Tigers. Yeah, the Clemson Tigers. Brad Brunell spoke a little bit earlier today at his press conference in Los Angeles about his team getting to this point.
Proud of my team and the way that we played last week. I thought we had some terrific performances, and certainly we'll need one of those this next game against Arizona. I've watched them a good bit throughout the year. Tommy's done an unbelievable job at Arizona here these last couple of years. This team, like most, super dynamic offensively, really good inside-out offense, a little bit like we play. We're very familiar with Caleb Love and obviously how good a player he is from his time at Carolina. It'll be a raucous crowd with a lot of Arizona fans, but we're super excited to be here. Our guys have worked really hard, and we're looking for the opportunity.
Joe Reedy, Associated Press. Brad, how much did the propel you to this year, to support that you got from the administration last year after narrowly missing the tournament, but also Joe and PJ came out pretty emphatically and supported you after the Baylor game? How much did that mean too?
Yeah, it always means a lot when your players have your back. It's just special, right? I have tremendous relationships with my guys, and certainly PJ's somebody I've started recruiting him when he was probably 15, 16 years old. So we've been together forever, competed against Joe, and I think it speaks to Joe's Clemson experience, how much he's really enjoyed being a part of our program. In terms of administrative support, I've been lucky. I've had great support for 14 years, and I think we've had a consistent program. We would like to have made the NCAA tournament a couple more times. Last year was excruciatingly painful, as we were one of the last teams left out. It happened to us in 2019 as well. But we have had, we've had some good teams. We've I've said this before, we're fifth in the ACC in wins over the last 5 to 7 years. I don't think people would, be a great bar question, right? I think we would not be somebody that people would think that. But we've been very consistent. I think we have a lot of respect from the coaches in our league. But, again, it's what do you do in March? This is the biggest time of year. And so in 18, we went to the Sweet 16. To be able to come back here, in 24, I think, again, there's not as many programs as you would think that have been to a couple in the last 7 years. And so we're moving the needle. We're trying to continue to push it forward. But I've been very fortunate in my 14 years at Clemson that I've had Graham Neff, who is my third athletic director, and we have a great relationship and have had for a long time. He was the number 2 man for a long time under Dan Radakovich, and he was in my sports supervisor, so we've been close, and I'm extremely grateful for that, and having had the opportunity as long as I have to be the coach at a place that I really enjoy.
We'll go right here in the front.
Anthony Vasquez, KTLA. Considering that you made the Sweet 16 in 2018, but a lot of players on this roster maybe don't have experience playing this deep in the tournament, what's been the message this week?
Yeah, don't just be happy to be here. We talked, at one point during the season, I think it was in January when we were struggling, I had a really hard meeting with our players, and I told them we were teetering a little bit. We had an unbelievable November and December. We were, I don't know if it's just so excited to play, and we played a really hard schedule, and we won a bunch of games, and we had like no adversity, and we were 10-1 and playing great, and then came back from Christmas and got smacked in the mouth by some teams in our league. And and had a hard time stringing some games together. We lost a bunch of close games, one-point games. And at one point I told our team, I think we were 4-6 in the ACC, and I said, guys, we need to understand something. I think some of you guys think we're the 10-1 team. Right now we're the 4-6 team. And if we go 4-6 again, we won't be playing in the NCAA tournament. And I said, that'd be a shame because of what you did the first 2 months of the year, but also because I think we're good enough to go to the Final Four. And that's not something that I throw around easily. And I asked my older players, have you ever heard me say that to you? And they said, no. I know my 2018 team, I said the same thing to them. I thought we were good enough to do it. But obviously we're going to have to finish the season the right way. And we played better, still a little inconsistent at times. But I do think there's a belief that our guys have that we're pretty good, and when we're clicking, we can play with anybody in the country. We've proven that. We've beaten some of the teams in this tournament, and so I think that's a big part of it. But these seasons are so long; they're almost too long, to be honest with you. We start practicing in September, and now we're at the end of March. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have some times that don't go well, and you got to respond.
All right, that was the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, Brad Brunell. He mentioned that they had beaten some teams in this tournament. One of those teams was Alabama. They won on the road at Alabama in November, 85-77. They obviously in the ACC played North Carolina State this year. They did not beat North Carolina State, but they did win at North Carolina. So again, the two of the teams that are in Los Angeles with them, they've beaten this season. So that just goes to show you where they can be, the Clemson Tigers, when they are playing the game at a high level. All right, it is DK on the Sports Tip. Much more coming up. John Court's going to join us. Cricket's got tickets in the next hour. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With a collision in Oro Valley, McGee near Oracle on McGee, west of Oracle at McGee and Northern Avenue. And road work along Greasewood Road between Speedway and Ironwood Hill Drive will be complete at the end of this month. Expect some travel restrictions and possible slowdowns. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Well, Big Blue Nation, you can't always get what you want, especially when what you want comes with a $34.968 million price tag, especially when what you want is to throw down that much paper for the privilege of running your legendary Hall of Fame head coach into the wood chipper. Of course, that amount of money is what it would take to buy out John Calipari should Cal be removed without cause from leading the BBN. Obviously, a big reason why Cal is not going anywhere, but not the only reason. And it's not the reason I think that Kentucky just made the right call in keeping him. No, they were not going to pay this guy $35 million not to coach. And I understand that. And I'm not saying that it's okay to lose to a 14 seed. After losing to a 15 seed not long ago, he is still the right guy for that gig. He is still Kentucky basketball. He still runs talent through that town like no other coach in any other town in America. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app. I like playing on Prize Picks. So do the members of the XR4TI. You could win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. There are hundreds of players from more than a dozen sports to choose from. Pick one and choose more or less on their next performance. Download the Prize Picks app right now and use the code ROME for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code ROME, R-O-M-E, on the Prize Picks app. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limits apply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Champs Kitchen and Bar has grand opening bracket buster specials all month long, including $5 pizzas, $5 burgers, and $5 pitchers, and more. Champs Kitchen and Bar at 7625 North La Cholla Boulevard. Cheers to good times, great food, and even better deals at Champs Kitchen and Bar.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice. Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out.
Ew, my feet are stuck.
In what, honey?
On the floor.
Ew. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers.
It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon
Then
spawning?
it takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of the program on this Wednesday as we lead you into college basketball tomorrow. The Wildcats and the Clemson Tigers. It is the postseason, and it's the postseason not just for Arizona men's basketball. Obviously, the ladies played last weekend, and now one of the other winter sports is about to embark on their postseason, and that is the Arizona gymnastics team, the Gym Cats. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Gym Cats, John Court, joins us now. His ladies are headed to the Fayetteville Regional. They have been a top 25 team all season long. John, I call it the kind of that round you guys have been in the last few years, the vault-in round. Versus play-in. I like to say you have to vault in because that's a gymnastics term to the NCAA tournament. But glad that you don't have to do that this year. You're fully in to the regionals with a fantastic year by your club.
Well, thanks, David. Really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate you putting some style to the vault round. I kind of like that. I'm gonna, believe it or not, I'm gonna miss it. But I'm totally very, very happy with the round that we're placed in, our regional placement. It's always excited to go to the postseason. We've been the last 5 years straight, and one of our goals was to have a high enough average so we could hopefully avoid round one and going right into round two. So that was something we can check off the board.
I mean, just a great
Very happy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a great season. You guys finished with an NQS score of 196.85. We talked the last time earlier in the year when you hit that high number right out of the gate. And I'm sure you have to be happy that it stayed consistent with this group. But did you kind of expect that because, you had such a senior-driven team that you would be able to keep, those scores consistently in the high 196s this season?
Yes, that was the goal. It was no surprise at all. And, if I'm being picky, it should have been a little bit higher. We should have had a few more 197s out there. We certainly had some chances, and, but we're totally capable of doing that. We did that in January, but we're famous for our 196.85s and 196.95s that we've been getting, which are fabulous scores. And the NQS is the highest ever here in the history of gymnastics at Arizona, and this year's group also tied the bar record and set a new balance beam record playing up in Washington. And we beat Washington when we set the beam record. So it was just that was a great night up there in Seattle.
Yeah, and
winning the meet because you break the beam record. Awesome job by the beam group in Taylor.
And it's such, again, you guys are in such a dominant league. You look at, obviously you guys, the Pac-12, you finished 7th out of 8th, but you got some of the best teams in the country. It's kind of like the women's basketball side. It's I would think, you look, I know the SEC is the SEC and blah, blah, blah and all that, but the Pac-12 is right up there in terms of gymnastics, top to bottom in terms of dominant programs.
It is very competitive. All 8 teams, once again, are going to the postseason, and it's a hard conference. It has awesome athletes, great coaches in it. A little bittersweet there on Saturday, knowing it's going to be the last one as we turn the page here in a few months to the Big 12. The championship will be in the same facility, so we'll at least be used to that. But the Big 12 will be a fantastic landing spot for Arizona Gymnastics.
John Court is joining us, head coach, Arizona Gymnastics. I want to go back to something you just said, John, about how you thought the scores at times could have been better this season. Obviously, how much of that is judging and the judges you get on any individual given day? How much of that falls back on maybe where your team could have brought the routine a little bit better than they did?
I think this year the majority of it's been on us. Majority of it's been on us. It's great to get the scoring that we've had. We've had the killer instinct. Some competitions, the first one of the year, we certainly did, and I think that sometimes they're surprised that they're doing so well and they're in a different place, and they just forget to finish somebody off. And that is something that when we were down in Texas, there were a couple of beam routines at the end that still scored, but could have scored a little bit higher. That would have been a 197 in the last home meet here. That should have been a 197. Floor flatlined a little bit. We didn't have any 995s in the last rotation. We had some 985s, which is still really good, but the 99s and 995 are what put you over that mark. So in about three games this year, we felt that it was on us, and there were a couple that I'll say it was on the officials, and I definitely said my piece. I have not been carded this year, yellow or red carded this year, but I think it was pretty close in Seattle. That's for sure.
See, now that's something I've been to a number of matches over the course of my career here. I don't know that I've ever seen those cards before. That's something. So that's how it works in gymnastics. It's kind of like soccer. You can get a yellow card for being on the edge, and you can get a red. So if you get a red card, you have to leave the floor, I would imagine.
You have to leave the floor unless it's for safety reasons. But if I get a red card or my staff, the team score gets penalized.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you have to be really, really careful. You can make your point, and then if they yellow card you, well, you made your point because the next one's not necessarily about me. It's about the team because it comes off of their total. And when we're dealing with .025 margins for wins and losses, 0.3 for the head coach mouthing off, that can hurt a little bit.
John Court is joining us. He is the head coach of Arizona Gymnastics. All right, John. You've sent a number of young ladies singularly to the NCAA championships the last couple of years. Malia Hargrove, who's still on the squad, being one of those. How many of these girls have a chance maybe to get into that NCAA championship mix this year?
Well, Malia always has a shot. She's on the floor. She certainly has a shot to advance down to Dallas. Allison Fears is someone who has not advanced out, but she has the drive and the talent to do that. She's been our top all-arounder all season. We end on bars at the regional. Sophie Durr, who's a freshman, she probably has the most difficulty on bars of anyone on our team, and fantastic form. And if she can handle a moment, that is certainly a possibility for her. And Alana Dietz, who's our beam anchor, she received a 9.975 this year when we were up in Washington. She is capable of going as well.
How do you categorize?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun next week.
How do you categorize this senior class? I mean, again, a number of young ladies. You mentioned Malia Hargrove, who's been around this program now, going on her 5th season. You got Carolyn Harry, Elena Dietz, Jessica Castles, who we saw shine early on in her career on the beam and has continued to do so. I mean, it's a pretty big class, a pretty strong class in terms of, the performances throughout the course of their careers. I mean, is this as good a group in terms of seniors that you think you've had?
In recent memory, absolutely. As a head coach, definitely. And they came here. It's really, it was really my first class, and they trusted us to come in here and change the game. We told them, you're going to be the difference. If you come to Arizona, hopefully we can do some things that we haven't done in a long time. We trusted them as people. They trusted us. They trusted us as people. Their parents entrusted us certainly for them to come to Arizona. And gosh, it's been a lot of fun. I try not to think about it too much because there's been so much that they've all gone through here as people. When you come in as a freshman, you're 17, 18, you leave when you're 21, 22 years old. There's so much growth that happens during that time, and I'm proud to say they're Wildcats. They'll be Wildcats for life, and they're all ready to graduate. Some have jobs already. Some are in grad school already. And as a coach, that's what you want. That's what you want at the end of the day. They can't stay. They can't stay in school forever. And I don't want them home on their parents' couch wondering what should I have done with my undergrad experience. We ask them to grow as people. We ask them to achieve academically. They've all done that, and we ask them to honestly play the sport at a very, very high level and at a nationally competitive level. And they've been able to do that, and without a doubt, they are leaving the program better than they found it.
Now, let me ask you this, because obviously Malia is a fifth-year senior. You have 7 other seniors. How many of those other 6? Well, I think you have 6 others. How many of those other 6 could come back for another year if they chose to?
Well, certainly everybody has eligibility.
Okay.
It's the last year of the COVID athlete,
right,
shall we say? It's the last year for that, and I mean everyone technically has eligibility. I usually have those discussions at the end of the season, not during the season. It's always important to live where your feet are.
Absolutely. No question about that. I want to ask you, John, you responded to a tweet today in terms of it was sent out by a young man by the name of Owen Field about the scoring system in gymnastics as it relates. I mentioned the NQS and what your NQS was early in the interview, 196.85. Basically, what this tweet was all about was that all the same 36 teams that are in the field for the postseason would have made the field with their straight average scores, and you guys actually had a higher straight average score than an NQS. And so talk to me a little bit about your feelings on that and why you think straight average is better than the judging NQS. I think it's like what they take your so many best scores and it scores on the road as well. Why do you think the straight average is better?
Absolutely, and I'm glad you're following me there. So on social media, I'm all for straight average, or at least counting more meets, because the season has to matter more than it does. If we have 13 meets, well, your postseason should be based on how you did in those 13 meets, just not your best 6. So
Makes
to me,
sense.
there's too many mulligans out there. I think it brings more relevance to the sport because tell me, what other sport half your season counts for?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. It does. If you have a bad night, or if you have a bad night or too many bad nights in a row at the wrong time, that can cost you your postseason. If you have a lot of great nights in a row, well, you're going to be in an awesome place. And I think for our team this year, we've been so consistent all year long. There were only 3 weeks that we were not ranked in the teens. And that's because of our consistency. But with the current formula, consistency doesn't pay off.
Right. The NQ. Go ahead.
I'd like it changed, but no one's going to ask me my opinion.
I
just had to say something this morning when I got up.
Yeah, the Wildcats NQS rank was 24, but the straight average rank was 20. I'm sorry, overall. So that's just kind of what John was talking about in terms of your average score for the season. Much better for the Arizona Wildcats. How do you look at? Real quick, John, how do you look at this regional and what obviously you want to get to the second day. How do you look at that when you're faced against, and do you know what your draw is? Which of the, I know you got number 2 LSU and the Livy phenomenon is there, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Minnesota, Arkansas, obviously the host school. Which 2 of those 4 do you match up with?
Our session will be at 1:00 on Thursday. ESPN 3 is going to carry the competition. The top seed will be Kentucky. The second seed will be Arkansas. We will be the 3rd seed. Nebraska, the 4th seed. We will start on balance beam, a very, very good event for us, and we will finish on bars. Arkansas will start on floor, so we will follow them around the entire night for 4 events, and I think that can be a good thing. For sure. They're a team that we've seen in Texas. We saw them at a neutral site. And after 3 events, we were down by 1/10. So that was pretty tight. Nebraska we faced in January. We beat them in January, but it was one heck of a meet up there. We haven't seen Kentucky in a long, long time, but they're doing great. Very, Tim Garrison was just named SEC co-coach of the year over there. So they're a team that they're one of the top 5 teams in the country. Certainly in my opinion. So we're gonna go there. The goal is you want to play as long as you can, whether it's 2 nights or 3 nights. You want to be able to do that. But we have to be on our game, and we have to control the controllables. The past years we've performed very, very well at these competitions, NCAA competitions. The very experienced group. I feel that our athletes are in a very good place. They're competing on their best events, and there's 4 judges. So the high score and the low score get tossed, and the two scores that are left will be averaged, and just like it was at the last Pac-12 meet. So it's not. There's very little home court advantage. There's a little bit of comfort level, but it's not like it would be like during the regular season.
Well, John, good luck to you and the ladies. You guys leave out when, tomorrow?
No, we next week. So
it's next week.
The bye weekend.
Okay, I'm thinking it's this weekend. So we got another week to go. Okay.
Yeah, next week I plan on watching some basketball.
All right.
Hopefully the whole weekend. That would be the goal, is to do that. So good luck to the fellas and Tommy up there in LA, and certainly men's swimming is at NCAA championships this week as well. I want to give them a shout out and good luck.
Definitely. That's our hope, that we are watching basketball all weekend. John, best of luck, and we look forward to maybe catching up with one of the girls ahead of you guys heading out next week.
Anytime you're welcome. You know that.
John Court, the gymnastics head coach, Arizona Gym Cats, our guest here today. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the Fives. We'll hear from Pella Larson, Keyshawn Johnson, coming up in our final segment. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket's also got tickets here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With a collision in Oro Valley, McGee near Oracle on McGee west of Oracle at McGee and Northern Avenue. And roadwork along Greasewood Road between Speedway and Ironwood Hill Drive will be complete at the end of this month. Expect some travel restrictions and possible slowdowns. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's new Cravings Value Menu is a big deal. Or rather, it's 10 big deals. From new items like the loaded nachos to familiar favorites like the spicy potato soft taco. Check it out at a participating Taco Bell today. Available for a limited time only while supplies last.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers. It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then it takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Cricket's got tickets coming up, so stay with us for that. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity to possibly go somewhere really, really cool. But talk about really, really cool. We were out at the baseball game yesterday, and we talked to a young lady who has seen a Coyotes game up at the Mullet, the hockey facility that was built for the Arizona Sun Devils hockey team. It was an arena that they built to kind of christen in their arrival to big-time college hockey. One of the players that played there for 2 seasons on the Sun Devil hockey team was Josh Doan. In fact, Josh Doan scored the first goal in the history of the Mullet after it was built. He played 2 seasons for the Sun Devils. Then he was this was after he was drafted. It's really weird in hockey. In hockey, you play juniors, then you get drafted, then you go play college. So it's kind of like a little bit backwards how that sometimes. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't players that get drafted out of college, but there are a lot of players who will get drafted and then go to college. And Josh Doan was one of those such players.
Didn't all the leagues, like I know the NFL and the NBA used to have rights. So like Bird got drafted and then he went back to college.
Right.
And his rights maintained with the Celtics for the time he was in college. I think all the sports used to have that. Hockey's the only one that has stayed with that strategy. Yeah.
Exactly. So then he turned pro, and this is his second season with the Tucson Roadrunners. He had played all of this year, got called up over the weekend, made his National League debut last night in Tempe for the big club.
It's buzzing in here right now. How about the speed boots of Josh Doan? Try to work it back to the front. To the line, Dermott, across it goes. Good stick, Werenski. A sharp angle, they score! Josh Doan's got it! First in the NHL! Oh my, the family celebrates! That is unbelievable. Turnover by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Josh Doan right there in the blue paint. And he forces the turnover. Look at the hand-eye coordination right out of midair, too. Bangs it home.
I mean, Josh Doan, just pretty goal. I mean, absolutely pretty goal if you've had a chance to see it. Kind of a backhand flip into the net for his first career National Hockey League goal. He was 7th in the AHL in goals when he was called up. He scored 26 times for the Tucson Roadrunners this season. That was 7th best in the league. Left with 62 points. Left with 46 points, 26 goals, and 20 assists. But he was not done last night in Tempe.
Kesselring's back out, so he's fine. Michael Kesselring with a shot, batted away, blocker save, and a rebound, they score! And it might have been deflected, and guess who? It might be Josh Doan, my goodness.
My goodness, indeed. 2 goals in his first game in National League Hockey, National Hockey League, the National League as it is referred to. Josh Doan in a 6-2 Coyotes win over the Columbus Blue Jackets, the son of the longtime captain Shane Doan. And afterward, he and his coach, Andre Turigny, discussed the big night for the rookie.
Yeah, it's something special to receive your first career NHL goal puck from your dad and to share a moment with him and everything that he's done for me to help guide me through this game and the ins and outs of the battles off the ice that comes with the game, and to have him give me that first puck is something I'm never going to forget.
stuff to not feel that in this arena tonight. I think it's like Craig said a little bit earlier. It's a little bit of fairy tale. It's score 2 goals, score a winning goal, play really well, had chance. I think that's the way life should be. That's beautiful.
Josh Doan from Scottsdale, the first Arizona native to play for the franchise, the Arizona Coyotes. Again, just this family has been all about hockey here in the state of Arizona. Josh Doan has been down here to Tucson a number of times. He skated, in preseason games when he was still playing with the Coyotes. They had a game, kind of an exhibition game it might have been even this year before the beginning of this season, of which Doan came down here and skated. Obviously, he's moved on in terms of his work life with another club, but coming back to see his son do something really exciting that's got to be a special moment for that family. Again, the face of the franchise, Shane Doan, now handing that mantle potentially to his son. And there's a belief, again, we have a chance to watch him play here. There's a belief that Josh Doan is that good. He is that good that he could be the star of this franchise moving forward, maybe even a young man who can help this franchise get back to great things, because, again, they're not going to the postseason this year, which was a little bit of a disappointment after the way that this season started. I have not been to the postseason now. We'll be outside of the bubble year, have not been to a full season postseason since back in 2012. And, in fact, like I've said many times, I was at that last game against the Los Angeles Kings in the Western Conference Finals. So, yeah, it's been that long. Maybe Josh Doan is the kind of player that can get the Wildcats back to that level. All right, I want to tell you about Champs Sports Bar, Champs Kitchen and Bar. It's the new go-to spot for sports fun here in Tucson. Get on out to Champs. All kinds of college basketball going to be happening this weekend. See if your bracket gets busted, not just this weekend, but all month long. Celebrate with Champs at their newest location, 7625 North La Cholla Boulevard. Their grand opening is happening right now. It's all month till April the 8th. They're running what's called a $5 Madness Special. Slam dunk deals. You don't want to miss this. $5 Madness Special. How about a $5 pizza? How about a $5 burger? How about a $5 pitcher? That sounds like that is, oh, my gosh, everybody's upside down on that shot. That sounds like we can't do that right there. We had a computer issue, so. Cricket's upside down right now, and it's J-Dub's shot anyway. Whether you're a fan of the game or just looking for a good time, grab your friends, try the new MVP of sports bars in Tucson. It is Champs Kitchen and Bar, 7625 North La Cholla. They're going to be open. They're open daily at 11. On Sundays, they open at 10 o'clock. It is the place to be for all things college basketball here in the month of March. All right, cricket is back. Let me see if this shot here works. Nope, that's upside down J-Dub again. J-Dub, he's there, and he's upside down. For people that don't know what we're talking about, you might be watching on our feed. Maybe I can see if I can reactivate that camera and get cricket. I don't think that's going to happen. So you will just hear them. You will not see them right now. But Cricket's got tickets.
Yes, indeed. I am back with more tickets for you to see the Tucson Roadrunners, one of the best teams in the American Hockey League's Western Conference.
She ain't lying about that.
Yep, Tucson is third in the West behind Coachella Valley and Milwaukee. And the Roadrunners can clinch a playoff spot tonight without even playing. The boys, they're back in. Well, they're in if San Diego loses their game tonight against Bakersfield. So they could be right in without even playing.
I used to live in Bakersfield. Have you ever been to Bakersfield?
No.
No, okay, that's cool. You don't need to go there.
I don't know. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I do have a 4-pack of tickets for Saturday night's game between Tucson and the Gulls. Caller 1 right now gets these bad babies. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, Tucson and San Diego at the Tucson Arena on Saturday night.
Do you have a white shirt that you can wear for the whiteout when we get to the playoffs, Cricket?
No, I'm messy. I don't own anything white.
You don't own any white shirts at all?
I don't think I do.
Now.
No, I don't think I do.
All right, we're going to have to we'll put that on the list, J-Dub. We'll have to get Cricket a white shirt so that she has something to wear for the whiteout when we get to the postseason, because that's where the Tucson Roadrunners are going. All right, caller number one. You're probably already too late because it's probably already happening. 520-848-1290 to get you those tickets to see the Roadrunners this weekend. It's a 2-game series against San Diego Friday night, 7 o'clock, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Again, as Cricket mentioned, they are the number 3 team in the Western Conference right now, number 2 in the Pacific Division. If the playoffs started right now, they would play the number 7 seed, so we would get home games this year. So we are going to have home hockey playoffs this year here in Tucson. Get excited about that. Get excited now about Cricket. You won't be able to see her because she's upside down J-Dub. But she's going to get you home with her traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowing on the westbound side of I-10 approaching Ruthroff. Crashes that are clearing Benson Highway and Park Avenue. Prince Road east of I-10. Overton and La Cholla, Golf Links and Swan. Also collision Country Club north of Los Reales. And for your weather, 48 the low, clear skies tonight, 80 tomorrow and sunny, and 71 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers. It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then it takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Amazing food and drinks. Our favorite new spot. We're so happy they opened. That's what guests are saying about Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar, a new locally owned restaurant on Tucson's northwest side, specializing in creative comfort classics and craft cocktails. Best known for juicy smash burgers, crispy loaded wings, street tacos, and specialty drinks. Everything made in-house with high-quality ingredients, chef-driven twists, and lots of love. Perfect for lunch or dinner, family celebrations, or happy hour with a friend. Fly over to Redbird on the northeast corner of Orange Grove and Oracle for some great food, great service, and don't forget to visit their website, redbirdrestaurants.com.
And this Friday, we have a sweet deal for you for Redbird Scratch Kitchen and Bar. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Elevate your outdoor living space this year using stone. Tanzite has developed stone decking, crafted without any plastic composite materials to redefine durability. Visit Tanzite.com to see how stone decking doesn't scratch, stays cooler, isn't slippery, and has all the durability you would expect from stone, which is why it's guaranteed for life. At Tanzite.com, you will see how we developed stone to easily transform any ordinary wood deck. You can even make your deck waterproof for a dry space below. Versatile and adaptable, Tanzite is perfect for decks, stairs, over concrete,
or ground applications. Visit Tanzite.com to start planning your project with a free 3D design and construction plan tailored to your space. Order a sample today to witness the incredible beauty and durability firsthand at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. I mentioned that the Coyotes are not going to the postseason this year, and that became official last night when the 8th place team in the West, the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights, picked up a point in their 5-4 overtime loss at the Nashville Predators. So that officially eliminated the Coyotes from playoff contention this season. So before we go to our winner here, we had said that we wanted to see the Coyotes win 40 games this year. That was kind of going to be the benchmark. And they are at what? They are at 30. So it does not. And they have, let's see, how many games? 72 games. So they've got 10 games left. They would have to go on a 10-game winning streak to get to 40 wins. And I don't know that that's going to happen.
Well, didn't they have a 10-game losing streak at one point? So they're
They only lost 14 in a row.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, they lost 14 in a row. So, yeah, disappointing. Disappointing after the promising start to this season for the Arizona Coyotes, but they are officially out of the postseason. You know what team that's not out of the postseason? Your Tucson Roadrunners. And Vince Romero is going to see the Roadrunners on Saturday night at the TCC Game 2 of the weekend series against the San Diego Gulls. It is the Border Cup battle, the I-8 Border Cup battle. Congratulations, Vince.
All right, thank you.
Outstanding. Are you a big hockey fan, Vince?
Oh, yeah.
What team do you
time.
follow?
Well, the Coyotes, but yeah, as you mentioned, they're not. They haven't been doing too hot as of recently. But I usually go to the Ice Cats games a lot more.
Oh, you're a U of A hockey fan.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, been going to them kid.
Yeah, well, they made it to the back to the national tournament this year, so that's good to see. That's one of the things I'm a little disappointed in myself. I did not get the coverage for Arizona hockey as I wanted to get this year. It kind of fell through the cracks with some of the other things we've got going on, but we will definitely work on that for next season to get those guys a lot more love than we were able to give them this year. Where do you think, Vince, things went wrong? You have an opinion on where things went wrong for the Coyotes this season?
I don't. No, no.
Okay. Yeah, well, a 14-game losing streak. That's where it went wrong.
Yeah.
There you go. Vince, who you taking to the game?
I'm probably going to take my family, my mom, my brother, my sister.
Oh, nice. Okay, everybody, they're all hockey. You guys have jerseys? You have a hockey jersey that you wear when you go to games?
Yep, Ice Cats jerseys.
Okay. Is there a particular Ice Cat, or are you one of those people that gets the jersey and puts your own name on it?
Yeah, I just put my own name on it.
There
yeah.
you go. Did you ever play any hockey?
No.
Okay.
Outside of PE,
Outside of PE.
Yeah.
And that, roller hockey at PE, man. Now those games could get a little wild back in the day if you weren't careful. Well, Vince, have fun at the game on Saturday night, and we appreciate you listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Vince Romero is going to see the Ice Cats take on the San Diego Gulls. I think the the Roadrunners have already wrapped up the I-8 Border Cup, so I think that's already done for another year. So that's a good thing. You don't have to worry about that this weekend. But you want to keep stacking these wins so they can kind of solidify that they're not going to catch Coachella Valley. Coachella Valley has a 10-point lead in the Pacific Division. That was the team that knocked out the the Roadrunners last year. It's going to be tough to catch them, but you want to keep winning to solidify that second spot in the Pacific and that third overall seed in the Western Conference for your Tucson Roadrunners. Home this weekend twice against San Diego at 7 o'clock Friday and 7 o'clock on Saturday. All right, let's head head back out to Los Angeles for more Arizona men's basketball.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the Arizona Wildcats met the media on press conference day at the Sweet 16. It was Keyshawn Johnson and Pella Larson, and the fellows were asked about their overseas trip in the preseason. Back late during the summer, the Cats went to Israel and Abu Dhabi, and how that helped begin the bonding that we have seen from this team that has helped lead them back to within 2 wins of the Final Four.
The trip, I feel like the trip was a great icebreaker. It happened in August, July, August, like when we was all fresh and getting to know each other, with us being like pretty much half American guys, half like foreign guys. Like going on that trip, we learned a lot about each other, like backgrounds, ethnicities and all that stuff, like the wars that happened in other people's countries. So we all just gained a sense of what each other been through in life, and that was pretty much just the start of our journey.
Hi guys, Addison here with Arizona PBS. Just kind of looking forward to the matchup tomorrow. Clemson plays at a very slow pace, as you guys know, and they shoot the ball pretty well. How do you guys kind of plan to make them uncomfortable? Because you guys have kind of struggled with that in years past.
Go ahead, Pella. You want to start?
I mean, we've played a lot of teams that play slow or whatever in our league too, and I think in these tournaments, it's a lot of the game and the fight is about effort and the 50-50 balls, rebounding. Guys will get hot and make shots or not. It's just those things that you can control is your effort, and I think it's going to be a big effort game.
You shot for you?
For me, I just feel like we just need to play Arizona basketball. They have their game plan, whether they're just used to playing slow or whatnot. We're used to playing fast, so we just got to just stick to our own identity. Whether we slow down a little bit by them or we're able to speed them up. The game of basketball is so unpredictable, so we're just gonna see what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Pat Paris from KGUN 9 in Tucson. Pella, I'll ask you, you've been to the Sweet 16 before, but you've never been past it. Your thoughts as you get here today with the game tomorrow, just the emotions and desire to get past the Sweet 16?
Just very excited to be here, first of all. I think if you're not excited to be in the March Madness, you're doing something wrong. So we're all very excited. We were excited the first game. We're excited now. Nothing's really changed. It's just another chance to prove ourselves and what we can do, and we're just really excited for tomorrow.
12 sports out of Phoenix as well. We've heard you mention poise in the past, especially in this tournament, and I'm curious how important you think that'll be for tomorrow, not only for yourself but the entire team, and how would you describe perhaps the poise within this team?
Yeah, I think the poise at times is really good with our team, and at times we've turned the ball over a little bit too much and allowed other teams to get back in the game. And having possession of the ball is huge in tournaments like these where you only have one game, win or go home. So the poise is going to be a big key. And when we take care of the ball, I don't think there's a lot of teams that can defend what we do on the offensive end.
Saul Bookman from PHNX in Phoenix. Keyshawn, obviously most of the team has not been past the second round. You have, you and Caleb. Have you guys had any conversations about what you think this next 2 games possibly could take just to get to the Final Four? And has anybody come up to you and said, hey, what can we expect or anything like that?
All of us have these conversations every day, first of all, thanking God for the journey that we've been on, having the experience of getting past the Sweet 16, making it to the national stage and all that. But we talk about it every day. We know it's going to take everything, faith, luck, just trust, and also discipline, sacrifices, the list goes on and on. Everything comes into play when it comes to March and April. So, it's not just one thing we can just put our eye on. We got to take into account all things.
Clemson in their last game were able to prevent a pretty high-powered Baylor offense, and they'll be trying to do the same to you guys. How do you kind of avoid starting the game out in a lull or just falling to like a bad offensive rhythm?
You just got to play Arizona basketball. We can't worry about the stuff that's out of our control. I feel like what they do is pretty much out of our control. They got their own game plan, and we got our own game plan. We just got to go out, roll the ball out, and stick to what we got, and the best man will win.
Yeah, that's for Keyshawn. This is Kyle Kansins for the Daily Star. Last year you were talking about the run and having that experience. With the Sweet 16 matchup, you had a block late in that game, steal late in that game. Impacting a game sort of like with those kind of plays like that, how much do you kind of take into that role? And then following up on that a little bit, Jaden was on the opposite side of that game last year. Has that ever come up between you two? And he kind of has that same role now.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Sometimes he give me a hard time about it, and I rub it in his face, a little bit. Just pretty much the relationship that we all have with each other is just a blessing for us all to come together. Caleb, through the journey that he went, me and Jaden seeing each other last year, Omar and Pella being on great teams. We just all talk about all these great experience and everything. But going to your question about just like making any play that it takes to save the game. We watch a lot of film. We just, you're going to have to, you'll see one thing on film, be like, okay, that'll happen tomorrow in the game. And if I could do that to save the game, let me do that. Let me make that play. Let me dive on the floor. Let me get a deflection. Whatever the case may be, all things coming to counter march.
Luke Linton here again with 12 Sports out of Phoenix. Keshad, I'm curious, you've been in this situation before. What do you think you've learned the most from your playing career that perhaps can help you and the team tomorrow to advance to the next round?
What I learned the most is just do whatever it takes, make your sacrifice, try to make the game easier on your teammates, whether it's Pella getting a jump stop and he's kind of trapped. If I back cut and I could give him a release, a bailout, just try to make the game easier on your teammates, do whatever it takes. Don't really worry about the numbers, stats. That's me problems, it's bigger than me when it comes to March.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Pella Larson, Keshad Johnson today in Los Angeles. Sweet 16 Media Day, getting you set for Arizona and Clemson tomorrow in the Sweet 16. J-Dub, we heard a question there about the pressures of that might be on this team because the Wildcats have not been to the Final Four in 20 years, but 23 years to be exact. But a lot of these guys weren't even born then.
Yeah, I mean, I think media has to make stories up because you're trying to get as many eyeballs and whatnot. You're trying to write your article, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. But to me, the questions about do you feel any added pressure because Arizona hasn't been to a Final Four since 2001? Clearly, every single player on that roster, DK, believes highly in their abilities and believes that Coach Lloyd and this program can take them where they want to go, which is as deep as possible in the NCAA tournament. That's always the goal, right? So you're talking about players who have dreamt their whole lives of having this moment, chance to get to the Elite Eight, potentially with a chance to get to the Final Four after that. Where in that equation does Arizona's history in the NCAA tournament fall as far as the players themselves are concerned? They're going. All you hear is one game at a time. All those cliches from Coach Lloyd and from the players. They're just focused on what's going to happen tomorrow. They're not concerned about what happened 15 years ago.
Well, let me ask you this though, because I just want to ask you this question as it relates to what you just said, because we have talked all season about how Tommy has gone overboard to try to get these kids to understand the history of this program, where it's come from, who some of the great players were, connecting these guys with those players. So from that standpoint, though, don't you think that maybe they understand the history that it's been that long?
Well, look, I don't think that Coach Lloyd has said, hey, you guys should go talk to Jamel Horn and pull some of the misery he felt after missing a three-pointer versus Wisconsin and take that as a motivation to win for him. I don't think that's a part of this at all. I think the legacy of Arizona basketball is quite clear. Look no further than Golden State Warriors, DK. Look no further than the broadcaster for the Spurs. And there's U of A guys everywhere, all over professional basketball. I think the connectivity is going back and seeing all the great things that have happened. Surely, if you've had experience with losing, you take that as motivation into your next time you have an opportunity. But again, I don't think they're going back and listening to stories from some of the guys who failed at this stage in Sweet 16, Elite 8 as a motivation to get forward, because it's just another basketball game. If you make it, what I'm saying is if you make it too big, that's when it starts to become those really slow starts with 15 turnovers in the first 5 minutes. It's because everybody's super tight and playing for something bigger than just a basketball game, possession by possession, get the job done, whatever it takes. I think that they want to win for the Arizona fan base and get this team over the hump, quote unquote, that they haven't been in 21 years. But relative to their responsibility personally as players, especially the guys who've only been on campus for 9 months, I think their names will always be in those books, DK, but I don't think they have anything to do with the history outside of making their own page in that story.
All right, great stuff. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. Our coverage begins at noon. Tip-off, Arizona Clemson, 4:09. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Brian Jeffries for joining us. John Court, all the great players. You had Keyshawn Johnson, Pella Larson, Joe Girard, PJ Hall, Sicario Davis, Brent Brennan. Thanks to JW Madden. Thanks to Cricket. I'm David Kelly. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk basketball with you tomorrow at noon. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With a collision in Oro Valley, McGee near Oracle on McGee, west of Oracle at McGee and Northern Avenue. And roadwork along Greasewood Road between Speedway and Ironwood Hill Drive will be complete at the end of this month. Expect some travel restrictions and possible slowdowns. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Gaming.